What's up, guys? Welcome to the Crypto Savvy channel. I'm Craig. We're going to be getting into the charts. I'm also going to pull up today the DXY and the 10-year yield. They're very old charts that I used to pull up all the time. Haven't pulled them up in a long time. I haven't changed them. We're going to look at how that's playing out. Obviously, I thought the markets would be coming down a long time ago. They went a lot higher than I expected. Nevertheless, I think the ending outcome is going to be the same. And I do believe it's the biggest money grab in history. I also believe it's the biggest opportunity of our lifetimes. Now, a lot of people say, well, I missed all the gains going up. Well, what I'm going to show you is how that doesn't really matter, because a lot of the people that have made these gains, if this plays out, are going to lose them gains very bad. Anyways, obviously, none of this is financial advice. Anything could happen in the markets, but I really see a lot of things showing this playing out, and I'm going to show you that in this video. I made a video right before this and it didn't record, so if I seem a little irritated, it's because of that. I did the whole video and then realized it didn't even record, so I'm double checking it's recording. All right. So anyways, let's get into it, guys. Let's take a look at what I believe is still coming. All right, so this, obviously you've seen this chart if you watch this video. Don't forget, guys, smash the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for daily updates, and let's see what's going on here. Now, markets are having a little rebound, which usually happens on Friday for traditionals, right? But I do believe there's a good possibility that we see something like this. Again, if the Fed wants to keep buying the debt, it can continue up. But it's looking like they're slowing down or stopping on purchasing the debt. So I'm going to show you that here in the next few charts. So this was our falling wedge for the DXY, right? We've watched this for years now. We've had these targets for years also. Now, getting up to this range would probably mean there's some sort of crazy Great Depression style crash like I think is coming. But nevertheless, our next target is that 114 area. If that breaks, looking at 122 for the DXY. Nothing's changed there. It's been the same targets for a very long time. Same thing with 10-year yield, right? Our target's been about a little over 7%. If that breaks and holds as support, looking at about 8.3, right? Which would line up with all of this congestion over here. Definitely still in the cards, and I do believe, as this goes up, the markets will continue down if I'm correct here. Now, let's take a look at the Dow Jones on the daily, right? We're getting a bounce off of our wedge here, but let's zoom out and see what I'm looking at in the big picture. I'm looking at this as a huge ending fifth wave diagonal, right? We've been talking about this for months and months, and if this does play out, we're going to have a lot further down to go for the Dow, like I showed you in the picture. But looking at this rising channel here, we did get a bounce off the bottom, right? If we do break that bottom, our target's going to be somewhere around 38 to 39,000, right? But again, we could be rallying up to test the center of this channel again, possibly even the top up here between 44 and 44 and 44.8 range. So definitely a possibility. Especially like I said, markets like to rally on Fridays. We could get some, get people's confidence back in the next, up until middle of next week, or we get our say in a rally. Who knows? But we're going to be keeping an eye on these targets. If we break below here, like I said, break below that 42, I'm looking for 38, 39. And then obviously much worse. So this is our Bitcoin chart, right? This is what we've been talking about. The possibility of getting up to the 112 to 115 range. And if we zoom out here, you can see this is just a trend line off of all the peaks, right? The big thick white trend line shows us possibility of getting up to 115 as long as it can stay above this trend line here, which is 91.5. We've been looking at this forever, right? So if it can remain above here, we could still get to this 112, 115 range. And then ultimately, at the end of the video, I'm going to show you two Elliott wave counts, a bearish and a bullish, both of them showing exactly where we could go. If this breaks here, I'll tell you exactly where I think it's going. But stick around to end for that. But anyways, as of right now, we are just in here playing around. A lot of money to be made in there if you're trading. If you do trade or you want to get into trading, check it out. Links down below. Check out my partner Prime XBT. You can get up to a $7,000 bonus using my link. Also 25% off your trading fees. You can trade crypto, Forex, gold, silver, oil, S&P, Dow Jones, everything all from one exchange. We also have BitUnix, which is a no KYC, no VPN option. Link down in the description below. Definitely check them out. And let's get into, this is the wedge we've been watching, right? So this was the bottom of the wedge. Looks like we had a fake out. But you're going to want to keep an eye on this on the daily. If we look at the 4 hours, so we made this chart way back here, right, when we were about 106. Looking at this as a rising broadening wedge, right? Told you to watch for this target. We got that target. So if you did make this short, right, you made a lot of profit if you took your profit here. Otherwise, looking at this as a 4-hour sell signal, our 8, our 21, and our 13 EMAs cross below our 55. Those of you that have been around for a long time understand that. Now we could come back up, test the 55 EMA, which is around 101 too. A lot of times you'll wick above it, maybe that 103, 104. See what happens there. But once we break this, if we do break this, now let's put this on the daily just to get a better look at it. So on the daily, right, if we close our daily below this 94,000, chances are we are definitely heading down to our next target, which is, and I gave you these targets quite a while back, right? Around that 79 to $80,000 range. I still think there's a very good possibility this is where we're headed here. So be careful with getting bullish. This is a bullish 4-hour candle, right? But let's see how the daily closes. And again, remember, if we break that 112 and 115 range, which I think is going to be very hard for Bitcoin to break, but if it does, your next target's going to be that 123. Now, let's take a look at the Elliott wave. So this is showing this as a big 5-wave structure complete, right? Even if we get up to that 115, it would still be 5-wave structure complete, which would be a wave 1 and looking for wave 2. I still believe wholeheartedly that we will most likely see sub $10,000 Bitcoin. Those of you that think that's impossible, or those saying that it is impossible, absolutely have no clue how markets work, what speculation is, and Bitcoin has not been proven to do jack shit yet. Now, I'm not a Bitcoin hater. I just think there's a lot of downside coming for Bitcoin, and people that think the ETF changed anything, it didn't change anything except BlackRock makes money whether it goes up or down because people have to pay the fees to buy and sell the ETF. I mean, geez, it doesn't take a genius to figure this shit out. Wall Street has taken control of Bitcoin and it doesn't give a shit which way it goes. So here is looking at this as a big 1-wave. This was our 2-wave ending in 22, and then this is all 1-3 wave. This is a bullish case, getting us up to that 125, 127 range that we talked about. Then a correction back all the way down to around 69,000, and then back up to 150 or so in 2026, all by the end of 2026. If that happens, then that would be where the market crash starts, right? That would mean that the Fed starts buying rates now, keeps things propped up, because honestly, the economy is literally in a shithole. But the markets are saying otherwise. The markets will catch up to reality because they have to. That's what happens. And another thing I want to talk about real quick is, so if this happens, right? Say you sold down here. If this happens, you're still in great shape because it'll be coming down here, right? So a lot of people say stay out of the dollar. I think, in my opinion, waiting for something like this in the dollar is the best option. If it happens, you're going to be able to buy shit so cheap down here with your dollar that everybody else is losing as this comes down, right? Let me know your thoughts on that. But I just don't understand the people saying, I guess I do. If it's going to be a normal market up and down, then maybe you don't want to be in the dollar. But something like this, uh, the dollar doesn't lose value if stocks and everything are crashing, right? Because you're able to buy a whole lot more and then ride it up. One thing I do want to point out, this drop took about 3 years, right? 2.5 years. and it took from when it was at its high, 1929. It took, let's see, to 1955 to get to new all-time highs, guys. That's 34 years. Just something to think about. If you got in this area, that was a hell of a ride up the rest of your life. But for the time this took, if you, let's say you were average cost in the middle, right? That took 21 years just to get back to that midsection. So something to be cautious about, guys, because I do believe a big reset is coming like this, and that is needed in a market because there's a lot of companies and crap that really aren't worth shit and people have invested in off of speculation, and it'll wash all that shit out. It'll wash all the shit coins out. It'll wash that out and let the market start with real companies again and build from there. That's what is needed in the markets. If that doesn't happen, we're screwed. We're all screwed. This is all garbage. And yeah, just my opinion on that, guys. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you Monday. Have a great weekend.